Good evening, friends and family all over the world. This is Johnny Green from Seattle, Washington, and we're here to introduce the elemental certificates. If you don't know what that is, sit back, relax. We are going to explain what that is, how you can get started, and how you can build wealth from home. First things first, I actually started the business from its inception. I can start, but let's just say I actually was one of the individuals who took faith and I took mentorship with my sponsor, Mr. Steph McNeil, who you're going to hear from tonight. And we built some relationships in the business of how to double our money, triple and quadruple our money every single year. So before I go any further, tell them about who I am. If you could do me a favor, because this is a global business, if you could actually do me a favor and put in the chat where you are zooming and dialing in from so people can see where you are calling in from. Because I do see a lot of guests are here. They keep coming in. I see Arizona, I see Dallas. Thank you, Mr. Lee Smith. California. Oh my God, it's starting to go fast now. Canada, if you are not looking at the chat, got Atlanta, Miss Nicole, we got Faye. In Nevada, we have Miami, Florida. Folks, as you can see, this is a global business. I actually started this company, started with the company, you can see it was December 1st, 2020. And what I actually recognize is my job was not cutting it. I actually was in the auto industry for over 20 years, multiple six figures in my home with myself, but that wasn't cutting it. Time was not my friend. And that's one of the most important things we can actually in life do is waste our time. So I wanted to expedite my vision for my family. So what I found myself doing is trading time for dollars, having a linear income. But then there was a gentleman who rose, I would like to say from the ashes, Mr. Joseph Haidt, Gold Standard Group. He comes from Gold Standard Banking. So he has an extensive background in banking. And what he actually taught me is one, we can actually have our money secure. Take that money out of your centralized bank where they control it and put it in your own bank so you can control it. We're going to go over that tonight. So with no further ado, three things I want to tell you. Get a note, pad, pen, and piece of paper. Take copious notes, is the second. And third, there are going to be some new terms that you're going to hear tonight. Those terms are going to be something similar to a blockchain, smart contract, elemental certificates, and weekly payback reward. Those are a few things that you're going to hear tonight. And our first guest, with no further ado, hails from the great state of Chicago, Illinois. He now lives in Seattle, Washington with myself under the tutelage of our late past Dr. Tyrone Best, who started Wealth Builders Worldwide. We actually have built a decent sized organization looking to come to you. We're Global Freedom Chasers, along with Mr. Charles White, with his team under the Global Freedom Chasers and under the Wealth Builders Worldwide organization. This is Mr. Charles White's call. I'm here to introduce my good friend and big brother who's been married for 35 years, plus 6 kids, plus the grandchildren. And he actually has a whole host of friends and relatives that are here to help join us to explain the elemental certificate. So if you could actually sit back, relax, we're going to actually have my good friend and mentor, Mr. Steph McNeil, come out and give us kind of where the journey started at. So with those copious notes that you're going to take, please listen, because the times of the way we actually make our money, they're changing. So with change comes evolution. So with no further ado, I have the good pleasure of introducing to some, and definitely if Mr. McNeil, if you could actually turn on your camera, let me know that you're ready. If Miss Glass, we could let him get co-host rights.
Mr. White is host. I can't make him co-host.
Mr. White, if you could actually make Mr. McNeil co-host, and while we're waiting for that, I do see that he must have just got my message. Folks, another thing really quick, we want to take just a couple of seconds. And if you actually have not texted out friends and family that are here, please do so. This is a very important time in our world where they're trying to take away our liberties. And when I say our liberties, there's this thing that's called a Fed now. And some things be good, some things be bad, some things being indifferent. We're here to educate. One of the most important things is to get an understanding, and all that getting, get an understanding. So with no further ado, I'm going to yield the floor and the mic to my good friend and sponsor, Mr. Steph McNeil. You now have the mic.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Green Jr. I appreciate your introduction as always. And thank you so much for lending your gifts and talents to the community, and specifically this team tonight. But of course, you do that with everybody and every different team that you plug in with. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Green Jr. is a high achiever. He spoke a few things about what he's done, but he's been a champion over here. He's been a joy to work with, a man of integrity. And if you hadn't had a chance to be on Zooms with him and query him with questions, he always has an answer, or he gets it. And he's been winning in a major way here. And he's won some great accolades and awards for our company, the true leader here in the Northwest, and with GS Partners throughout the company and our globe. So thank you very much, Mr. Green, for everything you do for the team. I get to benefit from your gifts and talents, and it's a blessing for me. So thank you, sir. And so I want to go ahead and get started. And I want to really take back to kind of how I got started in this space and what happened with me and how it changed. And it's kind of been a story, not just for me, but others all around the world. And as we got introduced to this whole blockchain and crypto space, and what does it mean, and how do you get started, and where did it come from, and all those things. And I got started, I literally about almost 13 years ago in 2009, when I was exposed to it. That's when my exposure started, and it never made sense to me. When a friend of mine gave me a call that said, the future of money is here, Stephen, have you heard of Bitcoin? And I said, no. And that was in 2009. I think it was 47 cents a coin. 2 years later, I had another friend of mine reached out to me to say the exact same thing. Hey, Stephen, the future of money is here. Man, you have you heard of Bitcoin? I said, I have. He said, how much did you get? Or what did you do? And I said, I did nothing. I didn't get anything. And we kept talking. He asked me, and I got a chance to ask him a couple of questions. One of the first questions I asked him was, hey, who's the founder of this Bitcoin? He said, well, his name is Satoshi Nakamoto, but Stephen, no one's ever met him. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, so tell me a little bit more, man. Can you give me some information about the corporate structure? I got some friends that can help me find out more things about the company. He said, man, there's no corporate headquarters. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, so you're telling me this is the future of money. No one's ever met the founder. There's no corporate headquarters. So is it backed by any precious metals? No, Stephen. What about government and somebody's army? Nope. I'm like, dude, I'm not sending you no money. You're not beating me. Because I didn't see it, not the future of money. And none of those things apply. It was 10 years later, from 2019 to 2009, when 2019, my mentor, over 30 years, Mr. Dr. Tyrone Best, gave me a call to tell me the same thing. Hey, Stephen, this cryptocurrency thing, Bitcoin is starting to happen. Let's go. And literally, I asked 0 questions because of who he is to me, knowing his integrity and how much he vets out. Not that the other guys didn't have it, but this guy was on a different level with me personally. And I was all in. And I started doing my homework after that. And this is what happened. I literally prayed and asked God to give me literally a way to present this where people wouldn't miss the message because of the messenger, because of me. And so this whole idea of economies of time comes from that, where we've all lived through them. We've already lived through a lot of economies of times where there's a paradigm shift in the marketplace, where there's goods and services that are meted out that change the way we do life. From the automobile, the Model T, all the way up to washing machines. You go all the way up to all the technologies from the wall phone. And when you walked around with those, now you have smartphones. So those technologies have changed the way we did life, and it's always done that. So we look at Web 1.0. Some of us are old enough where we can remember when we did not have the internet. For those of you who are new on the Zoom, let's understand this: less than 95% of the people on the planet are involved with blockchain or crypto. The adoption is still very minimal, but the world is moving there. particularly financial services, which you're going to hear about now. So we want to go through this to help understand how we arrive. We're not trying to sell anything. We want to educate the masses so they can make an educated decision when they decide to get involved with this or not. But Web 1.0, and then we move to Web 2.0, we see technology making a move after we got those computers in the late 80s, middle 80s rather, and to now we see Web 2.0, where you see Messenger and IG coming about, Amazon Web Services, Uber, all these companies and technologies that once never was, now is. And now some of the most iconic brands in our world that we see in these economies of time, Web 3.0, where we see there was no intermediary, where things become more decentralized. And one of the last bastions of the old economic system is still thriving, but it's hit that intersection of technology and finance called America's banking system, or the global banking system. That is where we're at, and it's changing in real time. So we can look at these products that this gentleman has here, whether it's a boom box, a camcorder, CDs, and cassette players on his elbow, all these devices that we all have lived through. And we see now with this gentleman, when innovation happens, technology does what it does, meaning when it innovates, it never asks our permission. We just end up getting the new widget or gadget or product or service. And he's invented this thing called the smart device, the smartphone, Mr. Steve Jobs. And it's changed the way we did life. Took all those things from this slide and put it on one small device. And technology is getting bigger, getting faster, more vast, and smaller. And it's happening right now in real time, where we see the purchasing power of our dollar has totally changed. Some of us, we're looking at what's happening in our world right now. We look at the money we have in our pockets and what we used to spend for. And we went grocery shopping back in the 80s. Some of us are old enough. You can look what a $20 bill did for you. It got you a lot of groceries. And this is an important slide to understand where we're at. You look at this in 2000, the grocery cart is a little thinner now, same $20. We look at 2023, all of us have been talking about, the price of groceries, gas, and et cetera, everything just to do life, how it's changing, meaning that same dollar is getting us less products, goods, and services. But we look at Bitcoin, talking about the future of money, our conversation now. One Bitcoin back in 2011, we look at this, it was able to maybe just get you, right, a few groceries. Remember 2011 for me, $1.12, one Bitcoin got you a few things. 2021, that same Bitcoin purchasing you a car. By 2030, a house or even more. And so it's happening in real time before our eyes. If you read the tea leaves and look what's happening in America's banking system, we look at this gentleman here, Mr. Jamie Dimon. He's the current CEO of JP Morgan. He made this statement back in 2017, where he said, Bitcoin is a fraud and it wasn't going to blow up, wasn't going to end well. Remember, I still didn't believe in the whole concept. And so with most of you, or maybe some of you didn't. And I didn't understand it. That same guy, current CEO now, 2023, JP Morgan's rolling out their own coin on the blockchain for payments in euro. Think about this. So if this iconic, really unique entrepreneur, CEO of one of the largest financial institutions on the planet, if he can make a mental change because he's seeing what's happening, we want to educate the people on this Zoom and your sphere of influence to make that same decision. We all can have a do-over and rethink what's happening, and to what we see now where Fidelity reportedly doing the exact same thing, getting ready to file for a Bitcoin ETF. Now, Fidelity, again, one of the largest financial companies on the planet. Same with BlackRock, probably the #1 financial institution. You look and Google that, and you'll see what's happening. Europe's biggest banks now supporting Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETFs in Hong Kong, HSBC, one of the largest banks on the planet right now. We are not a crypto company. We're a blockchain company, GS Partners. Gold Standard Bank, Mr. Green spoke of that, started back in 10 years ago. And the marketing arm was launched just 2 years ago, which is what we're part of, GS Partners. And it's amazing to see what our company is doing, because we're ahead of what some of these banks are already doing. We see Morgan Stanley putting hundreds of millions of dollars into various blockchain projects. Goldman Sachs, hundreds of millions of dollars into various blockchain projects. Why of Mellon, one of our country's oldest banks out of New York, the same thing, $600 million. Actually, this is a 2-year-old slide. They're literally over billions of dollars now invested in the various blockchain projects, as you just saw what's happening with BlackRock, Fidelity, and Vanguard, and a whole bunch of other banks. Wells Fargo. This is very unique. I want to highlight something up here. When you look at Goldman Sachs, go to your right, let your eyes scroll to the right, and look at this name, CERTIC, C-E-R-T-I-K. Do you remember when we first started getting on the internet, and one of the things we had to do, if you had to go to Best Buy or some Circuit City, and you bought this software called McAfee Security, it was a software in a box, and you upload it onto your computer for security to help protect us when we navigate. Well, this company, CERTIC, is running the exact same play 30 years later because of innovation to provide security as we navigate the blockchain. Former Goldman Sachs executive predict 1 billion users going to flood the market. Again, BlackRock, a huge company, call it game-changing Bitcoin ETF. When the big dog on the porch comes off and starts doing things, everybody pays attention. And we've been doing it for 2.5 years now, and we're in this space, and we want you to understand, again, innovation, when it makes a paradigm shift, it never asks our permission. We literally just, I won't speak for you, we just rotely go buy the newfangled product. I get the new DVD, even though I got a room full of VHS cassettes, we're going to get it. And I was one of those guys that didn't buy the DVD at first because of that very reason. We had a bunch of these movies, but now you can't find them. You can't find a VHS cassette. And the movies are just being given away, or people are dropping them off at the Goodwill. And so technology is making this move, and we want to make sure we do the same thing. Bitcoin is making a resurgence. You see it now. Things are happening. The major players are making a move. When 75 to 80% of the world's banking institutions, financial institutions are moving into space, it's time to understand or take a peek at what's going on. Because that's where we put our money. We trust it with all our money. We deposit it after every paycheck, every earnings. Most people do, but they're taking that same money and making these moves. Why can't we do the same? EU votes to allow banks to hold 2% of their capital in Bitcoin. So when we look at what's happening in our world right now, right? We look at everything the last 4 years, we think about broke, right? As a word, in terms of a verb sense, divide, it's shatter, something separated into pieces as a result of shock or strain. Our financial institutions, our economy is on strain. It's on a strain. Look at what's happening all around our world. Infringed, ignored, the rule of law, things are happening. In the adjective form, we look at, if I were to describe this, it's having no money, bankrupt, moneyless. So we look at this thing, and if we look at our supply chain being broke, or the medical system being broke, trust in the media being broke, approval ratings historically broke, inflation going through the roof, incentives are broke. Think about that. Grandmama's broke, grandfather's broke. They're working at Walmart. We grew up in a time when we worked at Walmart. Our college buddies worked at Walmart. These are times to stand up, bow our back, and make some decisions and look at where we're going to go, because it's happening without this in real time. This is definitely a revolution that's not being televised, but we're at the ready, and we want to make it known. I want to introduce my good friend who's been crushing the business and been crushing the intellectual side in terms of his exposure and educating all of us on what's happening from his perspective, what has happened in the banking world and what he's been able to do and how he's helped so many other people do the exact same thing. Mr. Charles Wright has done some phenomenal things in this space. He comes from over 41 years in the financial services industry. I've had the pleasure of getting the chance to meet and know him. He currently holds literally a bachelor's degree in political science. He's a graduate for the banking from Consumer Banking Association at the University of Virginia. He was a certified financial planner, again, over 41 years of experience in financial services. Charles has held leadership positions in banks, brokerage firms, and insurance companies. His wife, Gail, and him hail from the great state of Texas out there in Dallas. Got a chance to see he and his team put on an incredible meeting that we were able to be a part of. and fly out to see what they were doing. And we were blessed by him then, as we are blessed by him now. So I'd like to bring to the floor Mr. Charles White. The floor is yours, sir.
Mr. McNeil, thank you so much for that introduction. It's been it's just been a great day. Sometimes the Lord blesses you with a day that's memorable. This is one of those days. And so to commemorate, Ms. Gillespie, get ready. I've got a task for you here. Are you there? Ms. Gillespie?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, you've got a friend on here who wanted to know, Mr. McNeil, don't go away. You've got a friend on here who wanted to know if you could operate this business without introducing a person, or without, ask me that question again. Can you make money in this business without doing what?
Without sharing this with anyone.
Without sharing it with anyone. Okay. Okay, you can do that. And here's one of the ways you can do that. Are you camera ready, Ms. Gillespie? Can you turn your camera on? Mr. Green,
I'm
can
sorry.
you turn your camera on? Okay, if you're not, you're not. If you're not, you're not. Okay. So one of the ways that you make money is that the company is very generous. GS Partners, Mr. Green, would you agree with that? GS Partners is very generous. They have a new affiliate program where if you register and then you register someone else and they buy a certificate, you get a certificate match. Did y'all know that? If you register someone, you register yourself, and then you register someone else, you get a certificate match. But even beyond that, because this is such a monumental day, this day, mark it. What day is this? This day in history, July 11th.
7/11.
July 11, 2023. Did I say June? It's July 11, 2023. I want to ask a question. Get your fingers ready. The person that types into the chat this answer, the first person, I'm only doing this one time today to mark this occasion. Okay, Gino, how old is your grandmother? How old would your grandmother have been? I want you to calculate that out. How old would your grandmother have been? That's a momentous day. Her grandmother's birthday. May God keep her in his care. So type in the chat to win a light certificate. To win, she'd be, oh my goodness, 100 years old. Happy heavenly birthday, Grandma. Wow. To win a light certificate, Mr. McNeil, I'm going to give away a light certificate right now. Right now. Get ready. Mr. Green, I'm not kidding. What year was the compact disc introduced?
Compact disc. Well, that's a good one.
There's some good answers, but that ain't it. I haven't seen it yet. Aha, I saw it. I saw it flash up there. Y'all can quit now because somebody's answered. I don't know who it is, but we're going to check the chat. I'm going to send the answer to Ms. Gillespie, and then you can find the right person, if you would, please. I hope it's your friend. I hope it's your friend. So let's see. The answer is, what's the answer, Ms. Gillespie? You see it?
Just got it, 1980.
1980. That's the right number. Okay, so let's get this presentation on the road. We want to get everybody out of here. We don't want to keep you all night. It's Tuesday night, and you've got things to do. Who won, Ms. Gillespie?
1 second, I have to scroll up and find it.
Okay, scroll up and find them, because you know what? This what's the bonus, Mr. Green, on the what's the bonus on the light certificate? after it's loaded? What's the bonus?
I'm not logged in, so I don't know by heart, but I will get that to you shortly.
Okay, I'll go look for it myself. All right,
And
you tell me.
Denise Levine, I think that's how you say her name. She won.
Denise Levine. Make sure now, because we're talking about the bonus on a light certificate is a big deal. On the light, not the water, Mr. George, not the fit. I know, not Mr. Big Duffy. It's $875. That's what it is. 875 USDT. Okay, so we just wanted to have a little fun tonight. I hope you had fun with me while we did that, and I hope Rocky's proclaiming victory, and you're telling me it's somebody else. So you're the official judge, Ms. Gillespie. So please take another look, and we will
Yes,
award that.
it was
And so
definitely Denise.
it's definitely Denise. Okay. So Rocky, I'm sorry, it's Denise. Miss Gillespie says it's Denise. She's got the list of when the answers came in. So great answer. It's 1980. Thank you very much. But I wanted to illustrate that. What does that mean? You know, Mr. McNeil talked about all those things that had come along, all that technology that has come through. Can you buy a car today, a brand new car with a compact disc player in it? I'm afraid you can't. You cannot. They don't even offer it anymore. Want to know why? Because the people who make records and the producers and the distributors had figured out that I could buy a compact disc with music on it and pass it on to somebody else, and they could listen to it or copy it and not have to pay for it. And not have to pay for it. Somebody says I was in high school. Yeah, I'm about to go to my 50th class reunion. I wonder if any of my classmates are on here. I'll get a chance to talk to them. Somebody says I was a rapper. I love it. Anyway, this is a big call, and it's a big call because we have big information. Mr. McNeil, thank you for that great introduction. I always appreciate it when you take a little time and let people know who I am. You always make me seem bigger than I really am. I'm just one of the folks who's looking to liberate as many people as I can from our corrupt banking system. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully we can get this done tonight. So PowerPoint it is. Oh, I need to unshare. I'll stop that share because I forgot to hit the buttons, Ms. Gillespie. Stop share my screen. Let's do it one more time. Share screen, sound, video clip, share. All right. Close this guy. Close that guy. Go back to the meeting. Go back to this. All right. I'm going to make this guy bigger. Awesome.
Every day, everywhere in the world, people wake up, get dressed, and head off to make a living, following the path they've chosen. But deep down inside, there's always a desire for a better way, a simpler way, a legitimate way to make more money, have more free time, and enjoy life rather than just work until we die. We have found a 100% legitimate, inexpensive, logical system with a valuable product and real-time commissions. Generate income with just a cell phone and an internet connection from anywhere at any time. Get started now, get paid now. Do you look for ways to make more money? Ask for info and we will send you more information. Let's talk.
So let's talk. I know some of you are saying, why am I here? Some of you have been here before and you're back, and I appreciate that. But this is not, this presentation is not for you to just sit and soak it up. It's like going to church every week and you never tell anybody about Christ and you never bring anybody into the family of God. That, I have to tell you, That's not our mission. Our mission is not to preach to you. I don't want to even preach to anybody, but it's not to for you to keep hearing the same message over and over again without sharing it with another person. So I was with someone today who started about a year ago, and all of a sudden he's figured out, I need to do this, and he's sharing it with people. I am, you know what? If it takes you a year to get to that point, I'm down with that. You got to know what you're doing before you share it. I get it. Some people are ready to go and share the minute they hear about it. The opportunity is bigger than you think. These are some of the questions you may be asking yourself. Is my deposit safe? You know, this slide used to say investment, but we can't use the word investment on this platform or anywhere in our system, because that word belongs to the investment community, and they're very jealous of their words. I call it nomenclature. It's what they use to distinguish themselves, what they have developed to describe what they do. Okay, we don't have that. We have the ability to deposit, right? Is my money guaranteed? Where is money guaranteed anymore? I'm sorry, not here. No money guarantees here. Does the FDIC fully insure all my deposits? Does it? Now, the last big bank that failed was Silicon Valley Bank. There've been 3 or 4. It was the biggest though that failed, and there will be more. There will be more. I'm telling you now. The Secretary of the Treasury, you'll see that later in this presentation, has said, "I'm not being prophetic. I'm reporting what I heard." Okay, who is this company? I'm going to answer that tonight. Who are the people conducting this meeting? I'm going to answer that tonight. And what will I gain by fully participating? I hope you'll gain some information that you can use and that you can share. That you can use and that you can share. I want to talk about the Reserve Bank Deposit Act of 2020. Now, what does that mean? There was a federal act, and it set off a chain of things that are happening now. Some of these things have already happened. You hear little snippets, but you didn't know where it came from. So it came from the Reserve Bank Deposit Act of 2020. And so what did that act do? Lots of stuff. Here's one, but before we get to this FedNow business, here's one. Banks no longer have to have reserves in order to make loans. In the old days, when I was a banker, the bank had to keep a certain amount of reserves in their coffers in order to have the financial footing to make a loan. As of this Reserve Bank Deposit Act of 2020, no more. They can just make loans without having the money. In other words, they can create their own money. I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying. They can create their own money. They can loan as much as they want. Hey, that's the way it works now. The other thing is they don't have to keep vault cash. Vault, V-A-U-L-T. They no longer are required to keep vault cash. When I was a banker, we had to keep a certain amount of money in the vault so that the customers could walk in the door, and if they asked for a certain dollar amount, we had to give it to them. You know, especially within 24 hours. But if they asked for $5 million in cash, we had to give them $5 million in cash if they had that much on deposit. Today, if you walk in the bank and say, I want $35,000 in cash, they don't have to give it to you. They have to order it from the Fed. Things are changing, folks. They're tightening down the controls on the money and what we do. Okay. Now, on July 16th, what's today? The 11th? Remember, I said this is a momentous day. In 5 days, the FedNow bill is going to introduce this new technology. And it's just technology. People have been hollering about it, trying to scare your pants off, make you spend your money, do crazy stuff. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do anything because FedNow is coming. It's only an electronic currency transfer system. that they're putting in place. They're taking over the wire transfer. They're taking over the wire transfer. And so it's going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. In our system, we have, you heard Mr. McNeil talk about the blockchain. They're going to develop and implement this central bank digital currency. It's a government currency. It's issued by the government. So it has the same, let's see, characteristics of the US dollar, the current US dollar that we have. It's not paper, it's digital. We've been using digital money for years. Every time you swipe your debit card, that's digital money. So don't let somebody scare you. I listened to a video from a guy the other day, and I just had to turn it off because he was trying to sell his program. And he was just going off and off and off about how you had to get his program so you could be prepared for all the blah, 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 blah. Oh, please, 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 please. You know, this is 2023, July 11th. We're way past that. Okay. We're not going to be sucked in by any nonsense like that. But here's what is going to happen. You know, it's just like my hand. On one side is brown. My hand is brown. On the other side is pink. I think that's pink. It might be a lighter shade of brown, okay? Because I'm brown all over. Well, that's the same with this law that's coming in. On the one side, you see brown. Well, you see light. Okay, so it's transparent. It's digital. But you know what? You don't have to deal with the nasty dollar bills anymore, or all those coins that it cost the government a lot of money to mint those coins. All that's going away. When this central bank digital currency comes into play, it'll be the replacement for the US dollar bill, the paper dollar bill, okay? The problem is that 17% of the population rely on cash, 56 million people. They don't even have a bank account. And so we're going to have to figure out, we, as in the Fed, is going to figure out, it says that this system is used to help them. Right. Okay. Okay. So what if you have been hoarding cash? Okay. What if you've been hoarding cash? You heard it here first. Get it out of the house now. Go in the backyard and dig it up. Unzip your mattress and take it out. And go buy something else with it. Do something else with it. Because now here's my brown side. That was the light side of my hand. The other side is brown. The brown side of my hand says, gee, the Fed also hired 90,000. The government also hired 90,000 IRS agents to monitor what's going on with this thing. So when you walk in the door with $250,000 cash to trade it in for this new CBDC, where'd you get that cash? I'm not saying that's going to happen. It happened in India. But what I'm saying is the possibility is there that someone will question you about the cash that you're bringing in. Now, there's no law that says you can't keep cash. But, you know, there's also a law that says that you got to pay taxes. And so what the deal is that they hired 90,000 IRS agents because the tax revenues are down. I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. I'm trying to activate your thinker here tonight. All right. So why are we doing this? We'd want to talk about centralized banking and government control. It's for the banking system. It started in the 1780s. What else started about that time? The United States. Okay. Then in 1913, the Federal Reserve Act. The law created the central banking system. All aspects of banking were regulated on all aspects until the Carter administration, in which term he started the deregulation process of just about all American industry. Ronald Reagan put it into play. I mean, he took the acts that were signed by Jimmy Carter and he implemented them. I thought it was him that put them in, but I was wrong. It was Jimmy Carter. That's probably why I only got one term. Current bank interest rates. What you have under this system, current bank interest rates on a $2,000 deposit at 0.0, this should say 0.01%. I'll change that to 5% APY. Now, this APY is a banking term. We can't use that term. You'll see what our term is later. APY means annual percentage yield. That means they're going to give you 0.01% or 0.001% on, depending on the bank, in 1 year. In 1 year. So let's see. If they gave you 0.01%, 0.01 times $2,000, that would be $20. Actually, it's 0.001, and that's $2. But who am I to talk, right? So let's look at this other side: decentralized banking, blockchain technology. House Bill 14067 is on the floor to regulate decentralized banking and blockchain technology. And we're kind of waiting for this. You want to know why? Companies like BlackRock are already jumping the gun, and they're setting up securities products with the Bitcoin product. Is that what's supposed to happen? I don't know. But you know what? These big firms, they get out ahead of things so they can establish a position ahead of you, so they can charge you for coming. They can charge you for coming. That's what they want to do. That's how they make money. What I'm trying to get you to see is that you can go out there ahead of them and make just as much more money, and you don't need them. You don't need them. So in the metaverse, that's what we have: a $2,000 deposit, rate of return. You get weekly rewards of 5% to 22%. You see this WPR? That's weekly payback reward. That's our terminology. You know, the securities industry doesn't want us using theirs. We have to make up our own. It's just like God told Adam, name all those things out there. You see him walking around the jungle? Name them. That's nomenclature. We have to name our own stuff and have our own terms, okay? All right. So it started in 2008, and DeFi, decentralized finance, still looking into regulation under Joe Biden executive order in March 9th of 2020. So 5% a week, is that different than 5% a year or 0.01% per year? I don't know. I want you to use your thinker. 5% per week versus 0.01%, even 5% a year. One of my partners ran into someone, and he said, I've got 50,000 in the bank. And my partner asked him, how much did you make on that last year? And I believe the answer was $7. He had it in the bank, $50,000, and he made $7. And so my partner showed him his account. And he says, you see, I made that last week on $100. I hope you're with me. All right, who's doing this presentation? I want to welcome you to the Freedom Rising team call. The Freedom Rising team is founded here in, as Mr. Green would say, the great state of Texas, here in Grand Prairie, just south of the airport, that big old airport. I call it Manhattan South because it's as big as Manhattan, bigger than Manhattan, here in Dallas. So my wife is a certified training manager. That's my wife, Gail. And she's been standing like that. I got another picture like that was taken 38 years ago when we first got married. And she looks just like she did 38 years ago. Father Time has not been so kind to me, but she looks just like she did 38 years ago. So she's a certified life coach. She worked for Warren Buffett. She's a money empowerment speaker and blog writer. She created this tool where you can do, people always say, I want to do research. Well, I'm going to give this to Mr. Dalco so he can pass it out to our other partners, where you can hand them this tool and they can go do their research, because it's got everything. What's the blockchain? What's a smart contract? It's got all that stuff in this tool. And it's an awesome, awesome tool. And so I'm a former a lot of stuff. I'm retired, a former registered securities principal, which is what keeps getting me in trouble here, because I keep saying things that are not the way they should be. But we're learning, we're growing. And I was an executive in banking, insurance, and securities. A certified financial education instructor is what I am now. That's not a former, that's a current. And I'm a proud member of Wealth Builders Worldwide. I'm going to get into this presentation. This is the U.S. debt clock. We're 31 trillion. You can find this at usdebtclock.org. I challenge you to look it up. This number is going to be different here because this is like 4 or 5 weeks old. It was $31.5 trillion. Now it could be 31.6 or 7 or 8. The number is rolling pretty fast. And what has most of our partners around the world, every country, believe it or not, every country is a partner of the United States, whether they like it or not, because our currency is the reserve currency for the world. Every dollar every debt in the world is denominated in US dollars. If China owes Russia money, they owe them US dollars. They hate it. They just hate that. So does Russia. And so they hate it because our dollars are being stretched to the max. Our gross domestic product, 26.2 trillion. Our tax revenues, which are down $4.6 trillion a year. And they're looking at this and they're saying, is this currency going to hold up? One of the biggest problems that we ever had was that we took our currency off the gold standard. Every currency that's done that in history has failed. Let's listen to these 2 young women talk about this.
That you say and have been saying it's just one big distraction. So, kicking the can down the road for the debt ceiling, the banking crisis. But the question is always, what are they trying to distract us away from?
The next big crisis, which, who knows when we're going to see that. But the reality is this is the end of the current system's life cycle. And it actually died in 2008.
That's
and
right.
They just pumped a whole bunch of, garbage into the system to make it look like it's still alive and still viable when it's not. Did you look at Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah.
Zimbabwe's stock market is up 600% because people are trying to save themselves for the depreciation in the currency because the public gets it and they've been dealing with it for a very long time. But is the stock market really going to save anybody? No, because the only thing you can convert your stocks into is this garbage that they're devaluing. And that's the only choice that they have. And officially, we have 3 cents left. And if you go on the Fred, you just see that continue to decline. So that's official. When we get to 0, is that because the public has lost confidence in this currency, in this con game, is absolutely over?
And that brings me to my next point, because you've been very vocal and transparent about your views on the crypto industry. And I want to get your thoughts on the SEC's crackdown, throwing a 1-2 punch this week to Coinbase, to CZ's Binance. The bigger question I have for you, Lynette, is what you make of the timing of this. Their FedNow system is coming out, and a lot of experts think that they're just trying to destroy the competition. Do you think that makes sense? Yeah?
Oh, makes perfect sense. In fact, it was either the IMF or the BIS, Bank for International Settlements or International Monetary Fund, their paper that basically was private crypto's bad. Federal Reserve, central bank crypto's good. So, they brought it out. It got in 2009 was when Bitcoin came out. So it was about getting people comfortable. Now we have, as you pointed out, the FedNow accounts going into effect in July, so very shortly. What we need is a ginormous crisis that scares the crap out of everybody, that they then pump a whole bunch of these CBDCs in and say, go spending, right? Because we're a consumer-driven economy.
Yeah.
Here's a whole bunch of free money, right?
You say bigger
And they're
crisis.
attempting to get adoption.
I'm saying bigger crisis than what we just went through with the pandemic.
Yes, I think that was a test to see how far they could push people and what they could get people to do. But yeah, bigger than that. It has to be. We need to change the entire system. And things don't look the same today as they did before, just like they don't look the same as they did in 2007 before the banking system actually died. So yeah, much bigger.
Bring it home for us with this. Just your thoughts on what, I should say the lack of action we're seeing in the gold price. Now, anyone who invests in gold really should not be tracking the price of gold daily, but I get the emails of why isn't gold higher, despite everything going on. Lynette, what's your take on what's happening here on the gold front?
It's truly so simple. Number one, what is currently happening in the markets is that the biggest debt bubble in history is in the process of popping. And the central banks are being integral in popping that massive bubble. While a rising gold price is an indication of a failing currency. And once you really understand that this stuff is going away, then you go to this stuff. But if you go to gold, it's outside of the system. And it holds no geopolitical risk and no counterparty risk. It is a proven inflation hedge. So do they want you to hold this? No, they don't. Why would they want you to do that? They can't just take it then.
And it's interesting, though, because we see central banks continuing to buy gold. In fact, World Gold Council just put out a survey that, surveying most central banks, saying they have no intention of slowing down their gold purchases, trying to pull and add in. But everyone will focus and say, oh, but Turkey sold their gold. And I know you speak about this.
Right, because, what is gold's function? Gold is savings. That's what it is. It's protection. What's Turkey going through right now? They need a lot of protection. So gold in Turkey, they're not selling it because they feel, they don't need it anymore. They're selling it so that they have access to the things that they need because nobody will take the Turkish currency.
Exactly. Well said,
It's
Lynette.
doing its job.
It's doing its job. Lynette Zhang, thank you so much for joining us today. Always appreciate your insights. Crazy stuff that you say and have been saying that you say.
So the Digital Currency Monetary Authority, DCMA, launches an international central bank digital currency. It's not just here in the United States. Countries all over the world are launching these digital currencies. And, somebody asked me the other day, how do you know more banks are going to fail? I'm just reporting. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says she wouldn't be surprised to see even more bank consolidation. It's coming, folks. You just have to be prepared for it. Don't be surprised, okay? So tonight, GS Partners welcomes you to our community.
Excited for the future. Yes!
It's going to change your life. We are one. Let's go.
GSB, your we have the card in our hand. I'm planning to develop way many more things in the Lydian world with my team.
Thank you all for being here. The founder, the chairman of the board, Jose!
You are the first, and our company will be the first. I'm pretty sure that many more institutions will use our technology.
You love it? I love you too! Thank you very much. Let's celebrate 10 years. Thank you.
So I want to talk about the new digital era. That was a celebration, the 10-year anniversary of Gold Standard Bank. So we're not talking about a brand new company. We're talking about new products that are being introduced by this 10-year-old company. Let's hear about the story of Gold Standard Bank. I'm just going to hit the highlights. Started in 2013 by a group of visionaries, Mr. Hite being the chief visionary. And they started out to disrupt the gold and precious metals markets by creating a better way for buyers and sellers to connect. In 2015, the group implemented blockchain technology. That's big stuff there. In other words, they started working on their own blockchain. In 2017, preparations began to enable access to retail clients for Gold Standard Corporation. In 2019, GSB gave the exclusive order to establish a regulated trust and management company in Sweden. That's big stuff. In 2020, this is where we come into play. In 2020, they implemented developed a new marketing platform with modules based on blockchain technology, where each partner receives real-time rewards. That same year, they introduced the blockchain technology and listed it on several exchanges. That's the G999 coin. So this marketing system that they put in was brought in to market Gold Standard Bank products and services. In 2021, they introduced the Lydian World platform. That's the metaverse. In 2022, they introduced world-leading brokerage development and interaction through several world-leading brokers in regulated and non-regulated brokers called meta brokers. That's where the certificates came into play. The first series, we're now in our fourth series of certificates. Most recently in 2023, GSB launched Swiss Valorum Bank, which is now the lead piece of this whole enterprise. One of the few offshore banks with an included, integrated, and regulated, did you hear that? Regulated exchange in Switzerland with technology made in the GSB powerhouse. Swiss Valorum Bank handles products and regulated companies such as Swiss Value and the GSBDC Swiss platform using similar infrastructure such as MasterCard, Visa, and UnionPay that can be used in 170 countries around the world. In fact, they can issue those cards in 170 countries around the world. GSB's success is due not to innovation, not only to their innovation and commitment to excellence, but also to their focus on building an ecosystem with trusted partners and a loyal customer base with more than 500,000 members. I think the number that I just heard was that this number is not 500,000 anymore. It's like 1 million. This company is growing. Okay, I have a disclaimer. The purpose of this presentation is for the exclusive purpose of educating the community, members and users of products, services, and potential rewards programs found on the GS Partners Global platform, powered by Swiss Valorum Bank. So you can read this if you want to. I'm not going to leave it up very long. We're going to hit the high points. We're not financial advisors, and we don't give financial advice. We're not legal advisors, and we don't give legal advice. We're not tax advisors. It would be idiotic of us if we're operating in 170 countries to give tax advice to anybody anywhere, right? So we don't do that. All right. The other thing is that we don't accept cash. We don't take anybody's fiat currency. We don't take US dollars. We don't, if you see something you like here, we don't take US dollars. We don't take Swiss francs. We don't take Chinese yuan. We don't take the yen, the British pound, the euro. We don't take any of those things. You have to convert them to an accepted cryptocurrency to get onto this platform. All right, I said it. I'm done. All right, group licenses. GS Partners works all over the world with exclusive tech partners. Compliance is at the heart of our business. We operate in a highly regulated environment. We differentiate ourselves through good conduct, and we are well positioned to continue to thrive in an ever-evolving regulatory environment. And the other thing I wanted to say about this is we are totally transparent. Somebody asked me the other day, one of my old friends, why do you put yourself out there? I said, because I can. I put myself out there. I expose myself to scrutiny because I do this call and it goes out all over the world. Mr. Haidt, our chairman, is transparent. He's all over social media. He's not hiding behind some website somewhere where you can't find him. He said something the other day that really, it just melted my heart. Mr. Haidt melted my heart. I've been working with this baby for a while. It is born now, and I have to see if the baby can walk. That's what he said. I have to see if the baby can walk. And if the baby stumbles, I'll be there to catch it. Oh man, that just melted my heart. That meant so much to me. If the baby stumbles, I'll be there to catch it. Okay, market overview. GSPartners.global is a marketing hub. That's what we are. It's a marketing hub, connecting communities to multiple sectors and industry opportunities. Here's some of the sectors that we're working with this new product. The AI technology sector at $1 trillion. The Forex market with 5.3 trillion traded daily. It's more like 7 trillion. There was another one there. The real estate market, global value of 382 billion. The crypto market with $1 trillion in market cap. Renewable energy with a market value of 928 billion. The nutraceuticals and supplement sector at 382 billion. And online gaming at $138 billion. And so these are the sectors that we're working in, right? These are the partners, the global partners that we're working with. Some of the big ones, Swiss Valorum Bank, brand new. I mean, they just launched in June and they're beginning to issue their first debit cards now. I got my account open. Do you have your account open? GSBD Swiss, Swiss Benesse, they do the nutraceuticals and so on down this list. Now, one product, one key, many opportunities. The golden key, 9 opportunities, because there are 9 different certificate sizes that you can choose from. That's what we're here to talk about. The certificates of deposit, the elementals. Here they are. This one focuses on the water. Let's take a look at the water certificate. It's a $1,000 certificate with a price. Every certificate has a price and every certificate has a load amount. This is a smart contract. Write that down. Mr. Green told you to get a pad of paper, write the words smart contract, write blockchain down. These are things that you can go back and research, okay? Somebody told me the other day, I'm gonna go and ask my broker about this. If your broker knew about it, he would have been trying to get you in here a long time ago. My dad was born in 1889, and I never knew he was a philosopher till much later. And one of the things he used to say to me is, Charles, what a man don't know, he just don't know. So this certificate, you will not find it at the brokerage house because it's not a security. That's what they have at the brokerage firm. That's what they know about at the brokerage firm. You might ask them about some insurance products and they don't know about it. You might ask them about some banking products and they won't know about it. And vice versa. You may ask a banker about a securities product, and unless he has a securities license, he won't talk about it. Okay, I made my point. If you don't understand, ask me a question later, type it in the chat. Mr. Gillespie will try to get you an answer. All right, so this certificate is powerful. It pays it once you load it, okay, you trigger 1.5% per month for 24 months. Well, that doesn't sound like much. How about that's actually 18% per year. When have you earned 18% per year on anything? I'm just saying, right? Okay, $3,500 bonus is triggered when you load it. So this part and this part come with the load, the $3,500 bonus. The $1,000 price is not you just paying for it. It's returned to you here in the 5% weekly payback. Now, this fintech generates a 5% per week weekly payback program on the price. See, it says on the price. So the price is returned to you. 52 weeks at 5%, that's 260% a year. Multiply it out, 5% times 52 is 260% in a year. What does that do for you? Is that a double? Oh my goodness, it's a double. You can double your money right here in this one section of this contract, this smart contract, okay? Now, this also has a risk mitigation strategy. If you take, you can, every week you'll get a button on your system that says compound or withdraw. If you withdraw for 52 weeks, what will you have? $2,600. What did you start with? 1,000 here, 1,000 there. You got all your money back in 1 year, plus $600. I think that's pretty awesome. Anyway, maybe that's just my thinking. The other thing that happens is the bonus, this $3,500, and the load, this $1,000, are released at the end of the term. So you also get this 1.5% that you've been saving for 24 months if you haven't just withdrawn it. So that's part of what you can do. The foundation of this product is your ability to withdraw your money when you want it. It's available every week. In fact, if you make a deposit today, in 7 days, the money is available to withdraw. Your first withdrawal is available. I think that's extraordinary. Never had it in the bank. Never had weekly withdrawals in the bank. You get it every month if you want to, but not every week. Okay, let's look a little deeper. There are 6 sectors. We call them block folios. 6 block folios. One is fintech. The second is renewable. Did you notice how the bonus changed? And did you notice that the payback is a little different? It's 4%. Well, what does that mean? Well, it's 4% weekly payback program on the price. In other words, now on this same $1,000 that you have purchased the certificate with, you're going to add, if you loaded the fintech and you add the another $1,000 to load the renewables, now you're stacking your weekly return payback, right? Your weekly payback now goes to 9%. The third sector is called real estate. And if you load another $1,000 into the same certificate, same block folio, on the same $1,000, you're going to get another 3.5%. That gets you up to $125 a week, 12.5%, $125 a week. And now you're not getting a double anymore, you're getting a triple. So you also get a $3,000 bonus here, a $4,000 bonus there, a $35,000, that's a lot of bonuses. And each one of them has their own track of 36 months on the $1,000 load for each of these loads. This is a very powerful certificate at Block Series. So Meta Portfolio, $2,000. Now this one is different. It doesn't give you a set amount like 1.5% per month. You get a quarterly payback program based on trading in the foreign exchange market. Okay. Sector number 5 is supplements. This bonus is a bonus. You get a credit in the supplement store. Okay. And then number 6 is gaming. You get a credit in the gaming tokens. So both of these two are not open yet. They're not available yet, but they will be soon. So let's go forward. This is what a water certificate with 4 sectors loaded looks like. The fintech, it'll tell you pay weekly, 5%, pay monthly, 1.5%, pay weekly, 4%, pay monthly, 1.5%, pay weekly, 3.5%, pay monthly, 1.5%, pay weekly, 2.5%, and we just don't know because we don't have a monthly payback. We have a quarterly payback program here on this one. Okay, so what's the cost of what this looks like right now? It's $1,000 to buy it, and then each one of these is $1,000 to load it. You can load 1 or 4. That's up to you. But you're looking at 15% per week in your weekly payback, which is $150 per week. Okay, it would take $5,000 out of pocket to do that. All right. This is the $5,000 certificate called the Nature. And it works just the same thing, and it's proportional. The bonus on the fintech is $17,500. The weekly payback program is 5% based on the $5,000, or 5 times 5. That's $250 per week for 52 weeks. This is hot biscuits. So it just goes on. I won't go through all these because you can get back with the person who invited you here and they will give you the details. Why should you choose Swiss Valorum Bank? Because we're the bridge between the traditional and the digital new economy. There's a gap, and we're closing that gap to help people get into the new economy and prosper. And they're starting to issue their cards right now. I'm sure some of the folks that got their accounts open before I did or may already have them. I don't know. Anybody has their card already, type it in the chat. I have my card. Okay, how do you get started? You register an account. How do you do that? You have to get a registration link from the person that invited you here. Get back to the person that invited you here in less than 2 minutes. Monthly, $33 USDT. You can start promoting, or you don't have to tell anybody about this. You don't have to. But what you get for the $33 is the Blockchain Academy. You get, stop it. I'm using my mouse, and my mouse is just so eager. You get the Blockchain Academy. You get a $28 USDT. I got to stop saying that because it's not dollars, it's USDT, NFT. You get a special member-only pricing. You get a special member-only promotion. Now, this should have a highlight around it because this special member-only promotion is a big deal. It's a big deal. So ask the person who invited you to tell you, first of all, about the member-only promotion. You get a referral link so you can invite others to join you, and you get participation in the rewards plan. So direct commission, you activate the $33 monthly membership. I don't like that because I do mine annually. Doing it it reminds me of something, a bill. I pay mine monthly. I advise do it quarterly, at least $99, or annually $396, and you don't have to think about it every month. You earn 15% on your referred customer and member purchases on the purchase price, and then you're paid instantly in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Tether, because those are the currencies that come into the system to get you into the system. This is a rewards plan, 9-level pay plan. Level 1 is 15% that you earn on your personally sponsored people when they purchase something on the purchase price. When you have one active member, one active referral, that's you and someone else that's paying their membership, you get paid down 3 levels. When you have 2 active referrals members, you get paid down 6 levels. And when you have 3 active referrals, you get paid down 9 levels. So step 1, register your account, get back with the person that invited you here and get the referral link. Step 2 is upgrade your future. Move the cryptocurrency of your choice, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDT, to the dashboard, the GS Partners dashboard, and you can purchase and load your Blockfolio. And then step 3, if you choose to do so, it's optional. You can tell your friends, but I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people start out, I'm not telling anybody. I'm just going to get my money together. And I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to compound for 2 or 3 weeks and then withdraw and take the money off the platform and do something interesting with it, like buying your groceries for the week, or paying your mortgage like I do, or making your Tesla payment, or you see, and on and on and on and on. My money, I told my money, get up off the couch and go to work and bring me back a paycheck. And it does that every week. My money is working, so I don't have to. You think about that. My money is working and I don't have to. Okay. Get back to the person who invited you to and register your free account. I'm turning this meeting over. Somebody's being very creative on our boards here. And that's okay because I'm done. I'm going to turn this meeting over to Ms. Gillespie and Mr. Green, Mr. Johnny Green Jr. And I'm going to stop talking because I've gone 16 minutes over tonight. I apologize for that. My intention is to do exactly 1 hour. So, Mr. Green.
Yes, sir.
The floor is
yours. Thank you. I appreciate it. Folks, just so you know, Mr. White, Mr. McNeil, Ms. Gillespie, and myself, we're here every week. The idea is to educate the community. So what we're looking to do, because we're past the hour, maybe what we should do is take just a couple of questions. So if you have any questions about how to get started, we'll take 2 questions. The first 2, if Ms. Gillespie would do me a favor and just have just 2 people, if they raise their hand, and we'll make this really simple for you folks. The first 2 that raise their hand, and the instructions are, if you raise your hand and it's about getting started, those are the questions we want to answer. And if there's any other questions outside of that, by all means, get back in touch with the person who invited you so we can get you guys to the next exposure. So with no further ado, to introduce one of my good friends and business partners, Miss Tanisha Gillespie, if you could unmute yourself so we can ask who has a question. We're gonna play.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Wonderful presentation as always, Mr. Charles White. I see Sherman Marshall has his hand raised. You can unmute yourself.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Great presentation, Mr. White. Good to see you again, sir. And I just wanted to know if you still had that promotion going, and if you can mention it to the folks, and maybe that'll give them some encouragement to get the ball rolling quickly.
Yes, I do have that promotion going. It goes through the 31st of July, as I promised. You have to work through either Mr. Irving Edison or Mr. Dwayne Edison in order to get it. It's a special promotion for a special group out in California. Mr. Green and I were supposed to do a presentation for them, and we got our times. I got the times all crossed up. So I will honor what I said I was going to do. I'm not going to tell this group of people what I'm going to do because they'll be bugging me for it. No, I ain't doing it for nobody else. So yes, Mr. Marshall, I will do that.
Next, we have Kathy. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I would like to know the physical part of this. How do you do a deposit and how do you do a withdrawal where you end up with cash rather than just crypto?
Does
that make sense?
Yes, it does. That's a perfect question. Thank you for asking that. Because you know what? There's somebody else on here that wanted to know that, Ms. Kathy. So you withdraw. When you withdraw, it depends on the type of certificate. We have 3 series that you can withdraw to cryptocurrency. We're in our 4th series. There are 3 of them that you can withdraw to cryptocurrency. The Olympus certificates go to a currency called G Euro. The Elemental, I have not done a withdrawal on an Elemental yet. Mr. Green, have you?
I have not.
Okay,
I have.
you have? Okay, tell us
I
what
would-
currency it goes to.
It depends on which block folio you load it, but they can
Gotcha.
go,
So you're saying the different block folios pay out into a different currency.
yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. See, I learned something tonight. Thank you, Ms. Gillespie. So it pays into an internal currency. There is a conversion box on a exchange box or conversion box on our dashboard. And so we convert that currency to USDT. I then send the USDT. I have a Coinbase account, Ms. Kathy. I send it to my Coinbase account, and there Coinbase allows me to load that money as USDT on my Coinbase card. And so I have on my Apple Wallet, I have that Coinbase card. My wife, Gail, carries the physical card in her purse. And either one of us can use it. I can tap with my phone, or she can use it. She can use it with a card. So that's one way we do it. If I want to pay my mortgage is drafted from my bank every month. That's Chase. And so I hit sell, and I hit sell the USDT, and in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes or 30 years, 30 seconds, that money has worked through the system and is live and available on my Chase Bank account. 30 seconds. Did I answer your question, Ms. Kathy?
Mr. White, if I can just show 1 second, I did that today. From withdrawals from those.
Show, please.
From my certificates, from my wind and several of my other certificates right here, you can see in G Euro, I literally put $1,300 just today from my certificates onto this coin, and you follow that same process that Mr. White just talked about. You click exchange on financial tab here on the menu bar, and you can convert that to USDT ERC20. But it's right there in the system. You can withdraw that funds. And I didn't do all of them. I just did some of them. And it's just amazing what's happening. Yes. So you can do that. It's easy to use. It's simple, quick. It shows up within seconds right in your wallet.
And Mr. White, there's one more question. He was asking about saying, can you explain the buy three, get one free promotion? That's what Sherman was.
Absolutely. This is the new member promotion. And so I'm going to share my screen. Oh, my goodness. I've got my GS Partners account open. You see that? Ms. Gillespie, can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I go here to the side. The menu bar is on the side here, not on the top. Menu bar's on the side. And I go here to where it says promotions. And it says fast start bonus. And it says, look at this purple thing, 30 days fast start bonus. This incentive rewards our new GSP members during their first 30 days. Now, wait a minute. Mr. Green, if you're not a member, can you get this?
No, sir.
You cannot. I just wanted to have confirmation. Now, Ms. Gillespie, if you're not a member, can you get that?
Absolutely not.
You cannot. You cannot. This is, you share this with another person. As a new member, you get these two different promotions, okay? You get the fast start bonus. There we go. You get the fast start bonus. Buy 3 certificates and get 1 free. And free certificate matches the highest value certificate purchase. So if you buy the $100 certificate is only on your dashboard for 30 days. That's part of the fast start bonus. You can buy $100 certificates. But if you said, okay, I want a $5,000 certificate, buy 5,000, load 5,000. Should you decide to do the buy 3, get 1 free, you can buy a 5,000 and 2 100s and get a free $5,000 certificate given to you. Given to you. I like that word. Just like we gave away a certificate tonight. Miss Gillespie, you need it. Would you please obtain the deposit address for that young woman who won the certificate? Because I want to be sure she gets her money today. Today.
Will do.
All right. Money today. Get your certificate today. Okay. So you buy 3, you get 1 free. So even if you buy $100,000 prana, remember these certificates go from $100 to 100,000 USDT, 100 USDT to 100,000 USDT. If you buy a $100,000 certificate and buy 2 $100 certificates, you get a $100,000 certificate free. Now, I'm not joking. It's right here in writing. This is real and it is live. Now, here's the other thing. In your first 30 days, when you refer someone and they buy a certificate in your first 30 days, and they're in their first 30 days, you get this refer certificate match. You earn certificate match. Receive 1 certificate for every new member certificate referral. So what that means is if somebody comes in and they buy a $25,000 certificate, you get a match of a $25,000 certificate. No matter what else they do, you're going to get that match. If they buy 2 100s, these 2 promotions combine. If they buy 200 100s to go with that, when they buy that second 100, you get another $25,000 certificate. So you get 2 of them. This thing is absolute fire. Why are they doing this, Charles? Because they're trying to build a community. They're building a community. And I tell you what, if this is the way they want to do it, I'll accept the money. Thank you very much. Because it's legal, it's legitimate, and ain't nobody got hurt yet. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. My certificates are paying out every week. After 7 days, they just pay. They pay. They pay. I mean, you know, if it looks like it, I can't tell you it's a paycheck. I can't tell you it's like a paycheck. That would be not cool for me to tell you that it was like a paycheck. But I want to tell you something. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, probably a duck. Because this sure does pop up on my dashboard every 7 days.
I don't see any other questions.
All right. 30-day fast start timer begins when GSP membership is activated the first time. The first time. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, you know what I have? I have an elemental certificate that is ready to, I only have a few of these. I have a lot of the others, but I have one that's ready to withdraw or compound. Look at that. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4 of them that are ready to withdraw or compound. So let's go to this guy and see what we got. Load only, load now. See, it says withdraw and compound. Okay. This is the process, Miss Kathy, by which we get our money out. If I wanted to take my money out, I would hit the withdraw button, but I don't want to take money out of these. I want to see what these things can do. I'm going to hit the compound button and it asks me reward from FinTech. And what kind of reward is it? Oh, it's a monthly. You know, the monthly pops right up here. The weekly pops right up here. And then where are we going to put it? I'm going to put it into FinTech. And it's 18.2459 USDT, but it'll pay out in the CVEUR currency, which converts to that much USDT. I hit compound now, and I hit OK, and I hit back to certificates, and I refresh my screen, and that one is done. Mr. Randy Love had a question. Miss Tanisha, and his hand went down. I don't know what happened to him. See, on this certificate, I have the fintech loaded. I have the renewables loaded. And look at that. This side has $4,239 bonus. This side has $12,000. Why is that? Because it has a promotional load and I loaded it. And look at what happened to that bonus. Went up to $12,999. If you look at, let's see, go back one section, 2 sections. One more. Come on, computer. Act right now. Okay. It says my payback on the certificate is 9% per week. In other words, I'm getting $90 from these 2 block folios on a weekly basis. I'm getting 1.5% on this load, 1.5% on this load every week. Every week. $90 a week is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. And then in 52 weeks, oh, my calculator, 90 times 52. My calculator doesn't work anymore, Mr. Green. How about $4,680? Right? $4,680. So I'm going to stop sharing if there's no more questions. Oh, Brother Keys, come on now.
Mr. Randy Love is unmuted.
Mr. Love, go ahead, sir.
Oh, he may have muted himself back. Let me find him again. Brother Keys, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hear me now?
Yes, sir. We hear you now.
You can hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. One quick question. When each block folio that is added, is the percent, the weekly percent, like it might go from, one might be 5% and one goes 4% and it becomes 9%, for example. Would it be 9% of 2,000 or 9% of the 1,000, which is the base price for each, or does the percent apply to the price of each block folio? In other words, one is 1,000, one is 1,000.
No, sir. No,
How
sir.
does it
No,
work?
sir.
How does that work?
You're getting deeper and deeper in the hole. Okay. So let's put, I'm sending you the rope. I'm going to pull you out of that hole. When you purchase, you only purchase the block, right? The certificate. You got a purchase certificate and load it. That purchase price is what triggers that 52-week payback. You stack by loading more blocks, and each block has a different percentage that it pays out. But all of those percentages are based off, are drawn off that original $1,000. We were talking about the water, the $1,000 purchase price. Now the load does something completely different. The load generates the 1.5% per month. It generates the bonus, and all that's returned on the last day of the certificate. Did I answer your question, sir? Mr. Brown, you still with me?
He was unmuted. That was Mr. Keys.
Okay, Mr. Keys, Mr. Keys, you with me?
He's gone.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, I just had a question on taxable issues. Is there a tax?
I'm sorry. What was that question on?
Where do taxable events occur in this process? Any at all?
Okay. One of my first disclaimers is I am not a tax advisor. We operate in 170 countries, and I can't give tax advice. They don't allow it. Get back to the person who sponsored you and ask that tax question, please.
Someone said it's still a little confusing, Mr. White.
Okay, I don't want anybody to leave confused. Okay, ask a follow-up question. Who's that, Miss Kathy?
Kathy, yes, Kathy, I'm gonna unmute you so you can ask, and what's your question? Go ahead.
Okay, when I load say I buy the 1,000 and I load the 1,000, do I pick one of those, like the real estate or whatever, to load it to? Or do you determine later what to do? Or do you take your earnings and load it to them? So I'm trying to figure out exactly.
You're digging a hole too, Miss Kathy. You're digging a hole too. You purchase it and nothing happens until you load it. You earn nothing.
Right.
Loading it triggers the earnings, the payback rewards. Okay.
So when I load it, I pick one of those.
You pick one of those. I like the fintech. That's just me. The fintech is 24 months. The renewables is 30 months, and the real estate is 36 months. The meta portfolio is 18 months. I like those first three because they give a fixed rate of return across the board. Fixed rate of return.
So do you have to load the entire 1,000? You can't split it.
Split it between what?
Like between real estate and
no.
And
each block folio requires a full load in order to activate.
Okay. Do you like the weekly payout better than the monthly, or does it just depend on the
I like them both. I like them both.
I like money too.
I've not been able to get 18% on anything anywhere. That's why I like that monthly. I get 260% a week. I mean, a month for the year on the weekly. What's not to like about that? I love it.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. So you ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow.
Good for you.
So do I have to load the money onto Coinbase?
Or whatever platform you have cryptocurrency.
I think I have a Coinbase. I haven't done crypto in a while.
Right. So if you have a Coinbase account, this will be very simple. I recommend that you wire transfer the money to Coinbase if you want it done right away. You can move it from your bank by electronic funds transfer, but then they hold the money for 3, 4, 5 days. If you wire transfer the money in, it's available right now.
Oh. Okay.
Kathy, who's your sponsor?
Mars.
Oh my goodness, you're on my team, Kathy. Call me.
Oh yeah, Mars knows me well.
Awesome.
I'll be at his house tomorrow.
Okay, good. Well, you're good then. You are.
She's going to take care of you. Believe me, she will. Any other questions? Anybody confused? Anybody wondering? Because with this new series of certificates, it took us a while to get a full understanding, right? And we have spent all of our money in the Olympus certificates, but these certificates are a fixed rate of return. You're not waiting for something to be traded. Everything that you're going to earn, everything that's going to be paid out to you is loaded into the smart contract when you buy it. And it just pays out. It pays out. It pays out. Okay. Mr. Marshall, unmute and ask the last question of the night.
Sir, I just really appreciate your consistency and your sharing. It was one thing, I got the certificates right away because I just got that kind of, my mind is wired like that. Let them know, could you remind them that they don't have to stress out on funding the loading certificates right away, that they do have a time frame to load that. And I want to talk to you offline probably this week because I'm buying certificates this week. I'm ready to rock and roll. And I just need to share something with you that took place on the platform that I don't want to bring up in the group.
Well, whatever it is, we'll fix it. Okay.
Absolutely. But
Whatever it is, we'll fix it. So you have 52 weeks to load your certificate. But let's say you get one free, right? You buy one, you get one free. Guess what? When you withdraw from that certificate, the one that you loaded, you can load the second one from the withdrawals from the first one because it pays 260% over 52 weeks. You can use the first one to load the second one. Then you have two loaded and you get the bonus on two. Oh my goodness. This program is red hot. It's fire. It's fire. I'm going to stop this recording, Mr. Green.